Now when people have conspiracy theories or they have certain symptoms of something going on, you have Facebook, you have Google, you have all these different resources.
Right.
You know, in 96, we didn't have those things, and things just
Right.
kind of, someone either sounded crazy or someone sounded super smart.
Yeah.
Maybe chat a little bit about what's different and what's the same versus 96 and bringing it now.
Well, you know, in 95, 96, when I was writing this, was probably the first time I was able to get on the internet and started doing some research into the play. And what you found on the internet in the mid-90s, you found that it was a place where conspiracy theory could really flourish and thrive. And you can really go down the rabbit hole on that stuff. You could even at that time.
So we have Leftovers, we have Gone Girl, we've got Infinity War, we've got Steppenwolf, Fargo,
Sinner.
How has like the past 5-6 years just been for you?
You know, it's been an astonishing 10 years really, because I did Virginia Woolf at Steppenwolf. We started rehearsal in 2010. So this 10 years of my life has been just astonishing and unusual, I think. I think my trajectory has been sort of slow and steady. And I'm so proud of everything I've done. I feel like I've made good decisions, and I've gotten to work with some incredible people and amazing casts. And this play, by far, is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Your wife, Carrie Coon, just became an ensemble member here at Steppenwolf. How important was it to have her as part of this show and kind of make this be her big debut here?
Well, you can't do Bug unless you have a really strong actress at the center of it. And Carrie's a great actress. I mean, she was one of the reasons we wanted to revisit this play. She was really one of the reasons we're here doing this at all. We said we've got a phenomenal actress who is just at the right point in her life and career to take on this role.
Tracy was on the phone with Anna Shapiro going over actresses of who could play this role.
Yeah.
And then you interject.
Yes.
Tell me that story.
I'm a little competitive, and they were talking about some more famous people than me. Let's face it, I'm not that famous. People think I went to high school with them. They don't know that I'm on television, which is great. And these actresses kept turning them down because the play is very hard, and it's hard to carve out the time to come do a play in Chicago. And I, in a fit of pique, said, I should do it. And Tracy looked at me, and he said, well, I'll talk to Anna. And they talked it over, and they thought that that was a possibility, and then they came to offer me the part.
Now, I have grown up in Chicago, lived here my whole life. When I get excited, angry, or whatnot, my Chicago, Jewel, like all those Chicago accent words come out. The play is set in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
As far as her dialect and the words she uses, do you get that? Did you give her a little bit of that at home? Did you guys work with a coach? Is there family members that she modeled her character after?
That's a good question. She's doing an accent in the show. It's a very good, accurate accent. She knew my mother when my mother was still alive, and I think she modeled a lot of the accent on my mom, who had a strong, thick Oklahoma accent and a way with a phrase as well. And so I think Carrie modeled some of that on my mom.
It's a very vulnerable role that you are playing. What did you want to bring, to the character, and especially, with this being your first big show here,
Well,
Tracy involved in it, what did you want to bring?
Well, it's you always want to dignify the person you're playing. You never want to sit in judgment of the person you're playing. You could argue, I think, that Agnes is not as intelligent as I am, but she has a different kind of intelligence. And her experience is not actually, it is far from me in some ways, but I come from a working class family in Ohio. Some of her experiences in life have been mirrored in the people that I know and people that I'm related to. So it's not actually as far as you might think. And in some ways, the more erudite characters I play are much further from me than Agnes is. But really, what I wanted to do was just honor what's on the page.
Peter, it's a very vulnerable and intimate and open role that you're playing, especially, with it being the writer's wife on stage.
Right.
How do you navigate that, and did you have any kind of butterflies or anything kind of going into this process?
Oh yeah. I was like, what am I getting myself into? And everything. Of course, when you don't really know something, like you read something in the script, it's like the lights start to go down. ... Oh God, what does that ... mean? And everything that I imagined was completely worse than what's actually happening. So Tracy was very, very, supportive and, encouraging. you know, you're going to be taken care of, you know, like, I think you're a superb actor. It's okay. It's okay. You should be scared. And that's why I wanted to do it, because this is the first role that's ever scared me.
Tell me about, you know, bringing it to Chicago, or why we kind of waited, you know, to this point to have it here.
Well, there was a great production at Red Orchid Theater in early 2000. Before that production went on to New York with Michael Shannon, directed by Dexter Bullard, a terrific production. But, you know, the truth is that, unfortunately, some of the play really resonates right now because of where we are in our country and in our politics with conspiracy theory. A lot of that stuff that is in the play that was strong in the mid-'90s, it has really just become part of the fabric of our country right now. And so it seemed like an ideal time to bring this play back.